doing so good. Hello, Victoria, I forget. Alright, make sure my sound is down. Okay. I don't know what I plan on doing today, but I guess I did clean my glasses today. Well, what I want to do? Trying to think. Blockheads are easy to consider. Hello, Nacho. I'm a little bit delayed in getting started on things because I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, trying to unlock Officer Dick because I played Bienvenidos. I forget how to say like I am in. I know how to say I am from, but I'm not from Jersey. Hello, Nas. I don't know. Let's just start drawing some stuff, I guess. Is this frozen? This isn't frozen. Okay. It's just frozen for my display deal. Alright. I don't know where to start with things. So we're going to just start by drawing some face loops and see if I think of anything. Hello, John, and more Steph. Your name might be Stephanie. I was thinking about physically tearing apart some images of my face. I have small ones tucked away in here. I like the no prep. Okay, I'll just make it so this week is meditation on this one image that I took. We're just going to try ripping this up a bit. See if that leads anywhere. It's not the best print to be ripping, but you know what? I'd rather cut it. We'll be back in 1 second. I'm gonna try cutting this. I did have last night. I had the idea of treating this as like having 4, like trying to divide the face in 4 sections, drawing that, then dividing those into 4 sections and rearranging and seeing how that went. So let's try it. Let's try doing rearranging of things in sections of 4 and seeing how it all goes. This is not my favorite cutting blade for detailed cutting, but it's the one that I have right now. Usually I'd use an X-Acto. So let's get a little bit tighter in on this guy. Which is me again. And let's try just shifting everything one over and seeing what sort of look I might get. I want to have things that line up. Let's try rotating. Let's try rotating in position and seeing what ends up. For the sake of you guys, is the other side less torn up? This has a lot of texture to it. Or, that's my solution, put it on top of here. This is a self-healing mat, but I've cut it a bunch of times with a decent amount of force, and so it has some pretty significant ridges along this position. But anyway, so we take this, we rotate elements. I'm figuring this out. The tone over this paper is definitely going to get on my fingers. What if it's just like a shift? Slight shift off. Let's see what that looks like. I think I'll paint this instead of using a Hello Corsair. Sorry, I'm not sure how to say your name. Maybe I should do this with the tracing. This is difficult to see for me. I might try something different after this. So I cannot see this very well. Maybe that's adding to the look of it, but I very much cannot see my nose here. It's okay, it's not great. I'm gonna try something else. As long as something can be done. I just don't know what that is today. Not prep for today. That's okay. Do some drawing and stuff. Maybe I'll mess with wire. I gotta grab some pliers. When I was cleaning some stuff up in my room, found some wire. This wire is of a decent gauge, so it does not bend super easily. But it's been a long time since, I guess, doing things daily is forcing me to revisit things that I hadn't done in a while. I did a number of faces bent in wire. Let's just get a loop. Messing with perspective, and then I also have in the past done some, let's grab faces I have more readily available. So I've got this guy, which is trying to do a little bit more sculptural, a little bit more three-dimensional. That's dirty. And then there's this guy. This is, I was trying to do mechanical. Is that all in frame? Move this stuff. Mechanical. Moving faces. Things that this guy's gotten a little bit out of sorts, but it was trying to work sort of sketchy, but in a three-dimensional space. I never quite, I got it moving a decent amount. But these were inspired by, I think they're big in Ghana, but I also could be making a terrible amount of assumption. They're toy cars and things that kids make out of wire that are called galimotos. And there's a store that we'd go to sometimes when I was a kid that right now I need to get back in the sense of working in wire before I would start to do anything more than just a face, anything that would be in motion. But galimotos are, this is going to be loud. Galimotos are toys that kids make out of scrap wire they find. And the mechanics of everything are pretty present visually in the toy itself. And I've always had a strong appreciation for things that don't hide their mechanics. I'm not going to be able to be as, I have to reposition things in general. This takes a little bit more force and work, so you'll probably get to see funnier expressions from me. but how things showcase their mechanics and the ingenuity that comes from non-machine parts, seeing things that are made intuitively. I'm always sort of more impressed with that. I'll go a little wider since I'm going to be a little bit more chaotic in my motion. Should it be a bubbly down guy, or should it loop? I'll try a loop. Make a second nose. This wire is a decent gauge, so it's a little bit more temperamental and bounces back a bit more. This is just a straightforward thing, but this is working in wire was one of the ways I started doing more of the consistent line faces. Or continuous line faces. Try and get one of these faces sort of going. And with wire, and then I might try to do a perspective-based one, because I have not done one of those in a long time. And that might be interesting to see the process of. But when it comes to wire, you are very much restricted by the mechanics of it. You can't pick up and stop. You have to just let it go for what it is. So some of the first things I did with wire is just trace over things. I would just find cartoons and stuff that I liked and try and trace it out. Part of that came from my mom did some jewelry making at times. And so I wanted to participate in that mechanical process, but jewelry, the physical aspects of it get kind of pricey. The thing I'm least looking forward to in this is cutting this at the end. And down this way. Trying to do this as much in frame as possible, but jewelry is expensive. The components of it. If you're getting anything that's going to have a lasting bit to it. I'm going to loop this around so it gives it a bit more structure. Yeah, I have to cut through here. So I would mess with just cheap wire. Like what this is. This is, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is aluminum or some sort of steel. used to make these pretty frequently. But this was not my favorite wire to work with, which is why I still have it. Alright, I'm going to cut this so I have a shorter working end. Hello. You can see me struggle with the physical components of some art. Let's cut this down this direction. Let's have it loop back in that eye. I guess we could go ahead and have it do that. Let's twist this. Pull this a little bit. This is in no way an official tutorial for how to do this. It's just me trying to do something different than what I did yesterday. And as a result, revisiting old processes. It's also a much louder thing to be doing. All of this is sort of like a drum. Still slide. Okay. Let's loop this. A little bit shorter again. So this way. And then look at this. That is so loud. I always have a legitimate fear that I'm going to hurt my thumb when I try to tighten loops like that. You want to play this scanner bit? I think it would. Might make for an interesting scan. Seeing the mechanical element of it. Okay, now we're going to try and do a face that has perspective restrictive elements to it. The idea that only from one position will you be able to see it recognizably as a face. for this, what I tend to do is like close one eye. So let's see if I can. So from that perspective, you get an eye more or less, but then it's this weird mechanic going from around it. Bend things in whatever direction you want once you have general understanding of I did not think about how noisy this would be. Yeah. Well, this is what it is. Been down. Should be a bit tighter of a turn. Didn't do a lot of consideration as to what this would look like from a live perspective. But the idea is that for this, depending on how you twist it, you get a completely different or more abstracted thing. This is meant to be eyes and a nose right now. not terribly dissimilar from one of these I did like years ago. Too much power. Just undo this. Just leave this. It's an open thing. This is not doing so hot. It's got too much tension. So let's see. Perspective-wise, it's meant to be that it only really comes into view from one perspective. Otherwise, it's a little bit chaotic. You get something of a second view, but it's not as perfect. But from this front side, you get a perspective of it. So there's double face. This one's a little bit chunky, and then this one that you have to be positioned correctly to see the face as it's. I like things that, like this sort of form, your perspective on it doesn't have too much representation, but there as a face, and then as you start to shift it, it's less clear. Started doing these when I was, or these perspective-based ones when I was trying to do work where I created shadow art, which I have too many lights going right here, but the idea that things create form through interpretation. And sometimes that language, how it's interpreted, is correctly positioned light or shadow or something that translates things. I'm going to see what this guy scans like. If it's interesting or not. If I need to mess with what it's looking like. So, okay. See how this scans. So you can scan anything. Image capture. Show this guy. Let's see what the preview scan looks like. Might be that I end up putting something dark behind it. I think I might have to use a different scanner. Give me a moment. I have a different scanner, but it doesn't interface with my newer computer. It also requires external power. Older scan with a larger depth of field. And older computer. Let's see how this deals with it. It doesn't. Scan. In the background, I can't see my phone from here. Come on, you can open up. Come on, HP. Exciting times. Okay. think I might just have to jump off of this. Well, now it's gone. So this looks like a black background. Best thing I have right here is a blanket. Snap something? No. This guy. And preview. It's good work. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to scan this at 600 dpi. Scan this. I'm just going to the desktop for now. Scan that bad boy. Okay. Hello, Pasquin. I'm having to use a different scanner. That's slower, but it has a greater depth of field than this guy. And then I guess I can airdrop it over. It's probably the easiest. That scanner is much slower. I got used to my new scanner. Alright. It's just on the desktop. Clean that guy up. Okay. Airdrop. My foot on. And pull up. And here. And I should be able to just drag that on over. Sending. Got it. Okay. So now I can show you what this scanned like. And I can give you a comparison. I'll go ahead and do that. Do a comparison of what it scans like when it's on this scanner. Though I'm not going to put a black background. And you'll see why I needed to use that guy. So these are going to other, desktop, live designs, 1007, choose 1007, blurred wire, scan this guy over here, and that goes to the downloads, 10-07-2020 wired twin desktop to live design, from live design to 10.7. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick thing in Photoshop to clean some of this up a little bit. Darken that a good amount. bring this up a bit, just generally a bit lighter, and then clean up all the dust. It's hard to tell what's dust on what. Just gonna do a general sweep. How big is this? It's not huge. I'm just running too much. This live stream is real great. Figuring things out still. What does and doesn't work. Ugh. Why so slow? Can I do the... Not quick selection, I'll just do magic wand. Gotta do quick selection. Actually, I don't. It's not a great way to do this. Because if I'm selecting things, I think I just have to bite the bullet and do a quick masking. And then come back in for the final print to actually clean things up a bit more, but even at this stage, I need to, ideally this would have been like a black piece of paper or something, but instead I didn't plan for this, and so I just had a blanket on the bed. Selection. That's good enough to show. Okay. So image rotation, image clockwise. Smaller selection. Paste that down. Make this smaller so it's only like 1080 wide. Save that. Live. Now we're going to open up the blurred wire one. Image rotation, and clockwise. Save this as live light out JPEG, and I will show you the difference in the depth of field for those two guys. Image, browse, just live design. So here it is a bit blurry, and I'll show you what it is with a dark background on the scanner with a larger depth of field. And you can see that this is the patient thing to do art. You gain more patience with time. At least that's what I found. So you can see here. It's a way to capture. I shouldn't make this in here for too long, or it'll mess with the background. Ooh, that might have damaged something. Let me check. Got a little indentation, but shouldn't be bad. Okay, I think that's what I'll do for today. So there's a perspective-based one where the easiest way to illustrate those guys is to look at it with one eye closed, or to draw those up. And then this guy, which just wire figure, working on stuff. So, don't think anyone's watching, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. This was like a loose wire work, not tutorial exactly, just showcasing of testing some stuff out. But thanks for watching. If you're watching now or later, I'm going to head out. Yeah, I gotta figure out better use or better application of a better means of showcasing this specific sort of stuff if I want to revisit it. I'll be back later. Okay, bye.